These corrupt cops finally get arrested. Number 1. A cop turned smuggler. As the truth unravels, it becomes apparent that even those entrusted with the responsibility of upholding the law are susceptible to its temptations. A deputy from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has been apprehended on charges of public corruption involving bribery and the smuggling of heroin and Suboxone, a substance commonly used in the treatment of opioid addiction, into the Bexar County Jail. Sheriff Javier Salazar revealed in a press conference that Armando Trevino, who has served as an employee of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office for 5 years, is now facing charges of bribery and possession of a controlled substance with the intention to distribute. The FBI San Antonio office, represented by Special Agent in Charge Christopher H. Combs, collaborated with the Sheriff's Office in the investigation. Trevino, a 30-year-old corporal, has been involved in smuggling drugs into the correctional facility for several years. The investigation into his illicit activities has been ongoing for some time, as stated by Sheriff Salazar. During the press conference, the sheriff also emphasized that Trevino had been on their radar and exhibited significant resourcefulness in concealing his criminal actions. The arrest of Trevino was made possible when a deputy from the Public Integrity Unit obtained information about his plan to meet with a civilian for the purpose of obtaining drugs. Law enforcement officers conducted surveillance and witnessed Trevino carrying out the planned meeting at a gas station near Broadway and Loop 410. It is noteworthy that Trevino was in uniform and armed at the time. Sheriff Salazar indicated that it was clear to everyone that the individual in question was on his way to work with the intention of smuggling drugs into the Bexar County Jail. However, we apprehended him before he could carry out his intended plan. Furthermore, a civilian named Rudy de la Cruz was also taken into custody and is facing similar charges. De la Cruz, 33 years old, has no affiliation with the sheriff's office. Armando Trevino's arrest is the most recent in a series of deputy arrests that have occurred this year. In another incident, a Bexar County jailer voluntarily surrendered to authorities after being accused of physically assaulting an inmate the previous year. Detention Deputy Marquise Juan Shams is now facing charges of official oppression, as reported by the sheriff's office. He turned himself in at 3:30 p.m. in response to a warrant that had been issued for his indictment. Less than 2 weeks ago, there were 2 incidents involving Bexar County jailers. One jailer was arrested, while another was terminated following the death of an inmate as a result of a medical incident. Detention Deputy Michelle Matthew was arrested and charged with tampering with a government record. On the other hand, Probationary Deputy Lucio Camacho was terminated from his position. It should be noted that Camacho is not facing charges since there is no evidence indicating his involvement in falsifying records. During a press conference, Sheriff Salazar expressed his determination to eliminate individuals engaged in misconduct. Sheriff Salazar stated, "It is extremely frustrating, it is offensive, and it undermines the dedication of the other 1,500 deputies within this agency who simply want to come to work, uphold their duty to protect and serve, perform exceptionally well, and support their families." He further emphasized, individuals like this show complete disrespect to every individual who wears the badge. His remarks reflect a strong condemnation of the actions of those who tarnish the reputation of law enforcement and disregard the principles and values associated with their roles. Number 2. A cop turned pedophile. Jalen Fleer, a former sheriff's deputy, has received a severe sentence of 12 years in state prison from a judge in San Diego County. This comes after Fleer, who was 27 years old at the time, pleaded guilty to a total of 20 charges, including both felonies and misdemeanors. The charges relate to his involvement in sexual acts with underage girls and attempting to arrange meetings with minors for sexual purposes. The alleged crimes took place over a short period from March 27th to April 8th of 2020. During the court proceedings, disturbing details of Fleer's actions were revealed. Deputy District Attorney Jalen Wang explained that Fleer targeted multiple girls, enticing them with money and showing a preference for younger victims. Wang further revealed that the victims were too afraid to report the crimes to the police because of Fleer's position as a law enforcement officer. The criminal complaint identified 4 victims, referred to as Jane Does 1 through 4. The charges included explicit offenses, such as Count 6, which specified that Fleer engaged in unlawful oral copulation with Jane Doe number 1, who was under the age of 16 around April 8th. Count 7 and 8 accused Fleer of committing lewd acts on children aged 14 or 15. Judge Michael Popkins, who presided over the case, expressed his shock, stating that he had never encountered such a reprehensible set of facts. The seriousness of the crimes and their impact on the young victims likely contributed to the judge's strong reaction. Recently, on June 6 of 2023, Jalen Devon Fleer, a former basketball player for the Memphis Tigers, was involved in a violent incident where he was reportedly assaulted by a group of men. The incident occurred in the early morning hours in Memphis, Tennessee, as Fleer was walking home from a bar. Witnesses reported that the men verbally harassed Fleer before physically attacking him. During the altercation, Fleer endured multiple punches and kicks, resulting in a concussion and several bruises. Concerned individuals immediately called for medical help, and Fleer was subsequently taken to a local hospital for treatment.